Class, welcome to week 6. We've done a lot of work already. Finished our informative speech, and now we're shifting gears. As we get into week 6, we're going to take our information. Now we're going to persuade. We're going to help our audience take a position. So when we look at persuading an audience, we want to talk about our proposition. A proposition is the core claim of your persuasive speech. Clarity prevents your speech from sounding like an informative talk with opinions added on. Your proposition drives the structure and determines what evidence and reasoning you need. Fact propositions address truth, value propositions make judgments, and policy propositions call for action. Each type requires different support and organization. Policy propositions pair well with Monroe's motivated sequence as they naturally include a problem, solution, and a call to action. So as you're thinking through your persuasive speech, what type of proposition are you going to have? A fact proposition focused on that truth and requiring evidence to support your factual claims? How about that value proposition where you're involving making judgments based on ethics and aesthetics and require persuasive reasoning? Maybe it is that policy proposition. Take that into account as you're working on your persuasive topic. When we look at our Monroe's motivated sequence, it works best for policy persuasion. The need is the gap your policy fixes. Once you've gotten your audience's attention, you need to identify what's their problem. That's why we think about our audience when we're doing our speeches. We've taken that analysis of your audience. What's their age? What's their demographics? What's important to them? And then once you know that, then you can identify the gap, their problem that we're going to fix with our policy persuasion. Satisfaction is your proposal. You're fixing their problem. I like to relate this back to the iPhone. It was a problem we didn't even know we had. I didn't know that this phone needed to have the ability to take photos and play music so long ago, before phones even did that. That's where iPhone was fixing a problem they didn't even know. So there was satisfaction. But what was key in bringing that to life was the visualization. The visualization shows the future with or without change, and action is the realistic step for your audience. So when you're visualizing something for an audience, help them paint the picture for themselves of what it would look like with your persuasion and what they need to take action on. That action is the next step. They need to go take action. Think of, we're in a voting midterm elections, right? A lot of people and ads are out there. People want you to take action. What action do they want you to take? They want you to go to the voting booth. So think now that you're seeing these ads and learning more about Monroe's motivated sequence. Is there a need? Is there a gap they're addressing? Are they talking about how they're going to solve that gap? And are they helping you visualize the future before they ask you to take action and go to the voting booth? So for this week, I want you to take the persuasion quiz. Make sure you submit your proposition statement. Man, that's a hard word to say. And look to your annotated bibliography. For next week, outline your persuasive speech and study logic, deductive reasoning. Looking forward to seeing you in week 7. Take care.